Good evening, everybody. For the first time in 22 months, Golden West football is back. Coming to you from Dick Tucker Field at LeBard Stadium here in Costa Mesa, California. I'm Matt Rogers alongside Ryan Osborn, bringing you today's game between the Orange Coast College Pirates and the Rustlers of Golden West. Golden West won the toss today, and they deferred. So Orange Coast is going to have the ball first.
Number 22, Noah Scopies. And number 1, Boogie Lily Smee.
And so the Rustlers are lining up for the opening kickoff. And this 2021 season is about to begin. There's the whistle. And this season has begun. There's the kickoff taken at the goal line, brought up past the 10 to the 15, across the 20 over to the 25, and he's run out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. And that's where the Pirates of Orange Coast College will start their season. So the Pirates are led at quarterback by freshman Brandon Canella. He's going to line up in the shotgun. He's got one back. He's got two wide split. And we have a whistle before the first snap of the game.
False start, number 8 of the offense.
False start called on Patrick Benison. And that's going to move the Pirates back 5 yards.
That false start is number 80.
Excuse me, that was actually number 80, Jason Canella. There's a snap, handoff, nowhere to go right there, swallowed up by a host of Rustlers. David Hernandez.
Tackle by number 10, Sele Pamasa. And number 3, Ismael Souza.
No gain on the play. Maybe dropped a yard or so. Pirates line up. 3 wide to the left, 1 running back in the shotgun. There's a drop back in the pass. That pass is completed out to number 2, Edwin Lacrosse. That was a pickup of about 6 there, close to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 10 for the Pirates here.
3rd and 11 on the 26.
Canella looking in to get the play. Seems like there's a little bit of confusion. Once again, 4 wide, 3 to the right side, 1 to the left. Canella in the shotgun. Turns and fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it. Breaks the tackle. Heads out across the 30. Pickup of about 3, and they're going to be well short of the first down. And the Rustler defense holds on the first defensive possession of the season. And Orange Coast is going to have to punt. Number 2, Eamon Lewoy back deep to receive the punt. The punt just barely got off. They ran into the kicker. There's the flag. Ball down at the 32-yard line, but let's check out that penalty.
6-yard punt by number 93, Zach Grassani.
During the play, personal foul, roughing the kicker against the defense, number 41. That'll be an automatic first down.
So, personal foul roughing the kicker on Harrison Kofel. That's going to result in a first down for Orange Coast College, and this initial drive is going to be extended. And that's going to move the ball close to midfield on the Orange Coast 46-yard line.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Pirates at the 46-yard line.
Brandon Canella into the shotgun once again. 3 wide to the left, 1 to the right. He's got a running back in the backfield with him. And that looks like a free play here. And he's just going to toss that up and out of bounds. But the Rustlers definitely jumped.
Pass incomplete, penalty marker on the field.
And we are getting all the penalties out early here.
Offside. Number 5 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
First and 5 for the Pirates.
So Orange Coast has moved it across midfield, but haven't really done anything on offense. This has all been penalties. Cannell takes the snap, turns, fakes the handoff, drop back. He's rolling to the left, tosses it up, and there's nobody there. That ball sails out of bounds. And another flag on the field. And I suppose this is what happens when you haven't played football in 2 years.
25, the defense.
Pass interference called on Malachi Gatewood, freshman out of Bellflower. And once again, the Pirates are moving the ball without actually moving the ball.
First and 10 for the Pirates at the 34-yard line.
They have moved from their own 26 all the way to the Golden West 34, and they have 3 yards of offense. This has all been done through penalties. Canella 2 wide to the right, 2 to the left. Takes a snap. Tosses it out to his right.
Pass is completed to number
And
1.
that ball is completed to Boogie Lily Sneed. Pickup of about 4. Going to bring up a second down and 6.
Gain of 4 yards will bring up 2nd and 6.
Canella once again in the shotgun. And that looks like a man jumped.
Penalty marker on the field.
That looked like Aaron Fletcher, the wide receiver, left a little bit early.
False start. Number 3 of the offense.
And that's what it was, a false start on number 3, Aaron Fletcher.
Second down.
Going to move him back 5 yards, setting up a second down and 11. Canella drops back, evades one man, but cannot evade a second. And number 10, Sealy Pamasa, drops him for the sack. Loss of about 4.
4 yards on the play.
That's going to set up a third down and long, third down and about 15.
They'll bring up 3rd and 15.
Canella in the shotgun, 3 to his left, 1 to his right. He's going to drop back, and he's going to run with this ball. No, he stops, releases, and just out of the reach of the wide receiver. That was intended for Boogie Lily Sneed, and that's going to set up a 4th down from the 39-yard line. A bit out of field goal range, so I'm expecting a punt here.
Zach Rosani back to punt for the Pirates.
So no one back deep for the Rustlers. We've got a timeout.
Golden West, their first of the half.
Golden West takes their first timeout, and this has been a bit of a strange start to the game, strange start to the season. A ton of penalty flags, and I got to assume that's partly has to do with the fact that these guys haven't played a competitive game in 2 years.
And one of the things, Matt, with Golden West defensively, this is exactly what plagued them in 2019. They really struggled keeping themselves off the penalty marker board. It really hampered them, especially later in games. So yeah, that rust is there, but also Golden West has to fine-tune that going into the rest of the season.
So I spoke to Nick Mitchell earlier in the week, and he told me that the plan was to bring a lot of pressure today, and maybe some of that has to do with the penalties, and then like Ryan was saying, it's sort of the MO of Golden West. There's the punt, and they're going to let that one bounce. It bounces at the 5 and takes a Orange Coast hop out to about the 17-yard line, and that's where Golden West will have their first possession.
17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Golden West Rustlers.
So Golden West set to have their first possession of this 2021 season. There's the snap, a handoff going around the outside. That's number 30, Jared Johnson.
The ball here on the play.
Not much there. Pick up a maybe one.
81, Braden Johnson, the tackler.
So Coach Mitchell told me that the Rustlers were really excited about Mikey Carrillo at running back this year, but Carrillo spent most of the week nursing a hamstring injury and is not in the starting lineup today. Jake Retzlaff at quarterback drops back, fakes the handoff. There's the pass over the middle, and wide open is Tanner Branson. Out past the 40-yard line to about the 45.
Noah Scobies.
Tanner Branson, one of the returning players from 2 years ago, caught 3 passes for 22 yards in 2019. There's his first catch of this year. And the Rustlers set up on their own 44-yard line. Retzlaff fakes the handoff, swings it out to Branson again, and that's going to be pick up about 4 before he's run out of bounds. Corey Sampson runs him out of bounds there.
Taking to the 49-yard line, a gain of 5 yards. They'll bring up 2nd and 5.
So Golden West threatening to cross midfield here. Retzlaff sets up. He's got Jared Johnson in the backfield, turns and hands to Johnson. Not much there. And he's wrapped up after a pickup of maybe 2.
Jared Johnson, the ball carrier on the play, tackled by number 60.
That's going to set up a 3rd and 3 as the Rustlers cross midfield.
Gain of 2 yards, will bring up 3rd and 2.
Branson sets up to the right alongside Torrance Wiseman. Retzlaff in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson across the 50 and fights his way towards the first down marker, and it looks like he got it.
Jared Johnson, the ball carrier on the play.
A pickup of
Tackled by
about
number
4
9, Jesse Sparks.
to pick up the first down for Golden West.
Punt is good enough for a first down. Rustler first down at the 45.
Retzlaff sets up about 4 yards back of the center. Johnson motions to his right or left. There's the swing to the left to Johnson, out across the 40-yard line to about the 39.
Jared Johnson. Tackled by number 32, Malcolm
That's a
Henry.
pickup of about 8. And a 2nd down and short for the Rustlers as they are moving the ball. Retzlaff takes a snap, turns, hands to Johnson. Johnson out across the 35 to about the 33, and another first down for the Rustlers as their offense is looking good right now.
Number 30, Jared Johnson, the ball carrier, the play good enough for another first down for the Rustlers.
So Johnson, Coach Mitchell told me Johnson was going to get a lot of reps this year, but they were looking for Mikey Carrillo to be the workhorse back. Carrillo is not available today, so it's been Johnson so far, and he looks like he's up to the task. There's a snap. Retzlaff drops back. He's looking deep. He's got Branson across the middle down to the 15-yard line.
Pass is completed to number 1, Tanner Branson.
And Golden West is in the red zone. That's the third catch of the day for Branson, as they are getting him involved early.
At the 15-yard line. A gain of 18 yards in the previous play.
So Retzlaff 4 for 4 to start this game, taking the snap from the 15. Mishandled that snap a little bit, got hold of it, passes it out to Branson to the left, and Branson picks up about 3. That's 5 catches or 4 catches for Branson already, just on this first drive.
A gain of 2 yards in the previous play, and bring out 2nd and 8.
Jake Retzlaff looks very comfortable in the backfield. There's a snap. Retzlaff drops back. He's looking out to his right. That pass is completed to Jared Shabani. Shabani takes the ball inside the 10 to the 8. Going to set up a 3rd down and 3. Retzlaff with 2 to the left, 1 to the right. He's got Johnson in backfield. 3rd down and 3 from the Pirate 8-yard line. Retzlaff turns, hands. There's Johnson up the middle and down to about the 1-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and goal for Golden West, as they have just steadily moved down the field. And Golden West moving pretty quickly here. Retzlaff going to try and sneak it in, and he is in. Touchdown, Golden West. Jake Retzlaff with a 1-yard plunge for the first touchdown of the 2021 season. And here comes the extra point. Kick is up, and it bangs off the upright and in, and Golden West goes up 7-0. So Golden West moves straight down the field. Jake Retzlaff making himself comfortable. 6 of 6 for 63 yards, and then also brought that 1-yard touchdown in to put Golden West on top. Could not ask for a better first drive from the Rustlers.
And what you saw from him was going with the availability that he saw from the defense. So if it was in the flat, he just went with that check down. If he could go to a guy on the slant, that's what he went with. He didn't try and force any throws while going down the field. That's what really contributed to them moving their offense.
It's going to be interesting to see how this offense functions for the rest of this game, but they looked really good on that first drive, especially considering that's the first drive of Retzlaff's career, and they're using their backup running back. They looked really, really comfortable and really, really good.
Set the kick for the Rustlers is number 50, Jake Cypress.
So Jake Cypress set to kick off with Golden West holding on to a 7-0 lead. There's the kickoff. That's going to be fielded 4 yards deep in the end zone and just knelt on for the touchback. And Orange Coast is set to take the field again.
No return on the kickoff. It'll be 1st and 10 with Pirates at the 25.
So the Pirates take over at the 25-yard line. Penalties helped them get all the way across midfield into Golden West territory last drive, but they only picked up 9 yards of offense. Brandon Canella drops back, hands it off, and straight up the middle, and a huge hole, and a pickup of 19 for J.P. Carrillo.
At the 43-yard line.
J.P. Carrillo with a 19-yard run there. Orange Coast has the ball. That was about 18 yards on that play. There's another handoff, and this one looked like it was sniffed out, but he's fighting. Ends up picking up a couple of yards.
88, J.P. Segura, the ball carrier. Tackled by number 41. Here's
Segura Cajero with the 2-yard run there.
Gain of 1 yard on the previous play, bring up 2nd and 9.
A second and a very long 8. Brandon Canella in the shotgun, drops back, releases that ball. That ball is caught, completed to Edwin Lacrosse.
For a Pirates 1st down.
And Lacrosse across midfield to the Golden West 45. Tyler Williams on the tackle. And Orange Coast looks a little bit more in stride here in the second drive. Canella drops back, looking across the middle. That pass is completed. And another 1st down. Edwin Lacrosse once again with the catch and a 12-yard pickup. There is a flag down. Referee's talking this one over. Let's see what they say.
Ineligible man downfield. Number 2. We will repeat 1st down.
So Orange Coast called for ineligible man downfield. That was Edwin Lacrosse. This is going to be a 5-yard penalty, going to set up a 1st down and 15 as they move back to the 50-yard line.
Bring up 1st and 15 at the 50-yard line.
Canella looking in. He's got Segura Cajero in the backfield with him. He's got 2 wide to the right, 2 to the left in the shotgun. Canella takes the snap, hands it off to Segura Cajero, and he's up the middle, and another big run for J.P. Segura.
Number 25, Malachi Gatewood.
A pickup of 13, Tyler Williams and Malachi Gatewood with the tackle there. J.P. Segura in the backfield. Canella taking the snap, turns, hands it off to Segura. Segura breaks a tackle out across, close to the 35 in the 1st down, but there is a flag on the field. And once again, yet another penalty.
Offsides. Number 93 of the defense.
Offsides.
5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Called on Darren Vasquez. So that offsides on Darren Vasquez is going to give Orange Coast a 1st down. Coach Mitchell told me that he was really excited about Darren Vasquez. He's hoping to see a lot out of him this year. But that offsides gives a first down to the Pirates, who now have the ball on the Golden West 33-yard line. Canella looking in to get the play. He's got Segura in the backfield. He's got one wide to his right. There's the handoff. No, that ball was misplayed, it looked like. And Canella is knocked down, and he lost his helmet.
Number 3, Ismael Souza on the tackle.
Ismael Souza with the tackle.
The field for one play.
And Canella has to leave the field for one play because of his helmet coming off. So it looks like it's going to be number 10, J.D. Rafkin comes in to take at least one snap for the Pirates. Rafkin in the shotgun takes the snap, drops back. He's looking deep, and there is nobody there. It looks like he and Boogie Lily Sneed were not on the same page. Lily Sneed turned around, and it looked like Rafkin thought he was going to keep going, and that ball just sailed. So Rafkin back to the sidelines, and in comes Canella again after taking off that play because of losing his helmet. Canella in the shotgun. He's got Segura with him. He's got two to the left, one to the right. There's the snap. Canella drops back. He's looking. He's getting pressured. Evades one tackler, is able to get that ball away and complete to Edwin Lacrosse. Heck of a job to get out of that and to pick up positive yardage. Pick up maybe 6 there. That's going to be 4th down for Orange Coast. They're kind of in that no man's land, a little bit too far for a field goal. And so they're going to go ahead and go for it here on 4th down. Canella with 2 wide to the right, 2 wide to the left. Drops back to pass. He's getting pressured and brought down by Ismael Souza. And it's going to be a turnover on downs for the Rustler defense. They're going to take over on their own 40-yard line, already up 7-0 with 1:36 remaining here in the first quarter of the first game of the year. Great pressure by Souza there, who's shown some pressure throughout this first quarter. So the Rustlers are back out there. It's Retzlaff once again at quarterback. Johnson at running back. There's the handoff to Johnson. Out across the left. Past the 45 and bulldogs his way up to about the 47. A pickup of 7, going to set up a 2nd down and 3. Retzlaff setting up. He's got Johnson behind him. Johnson motions to his right. Retzlaff drops back, completes the pass out to the left side for a first down for the Rustlers. That was number 9. John Ojalabi. John Ojalabi, one of 2 wide receivers who were with the Rustlers in 2019. Ojalabi caught 7 passes for 78 yards that year. Retzlaff drops back. He's looking deep. He's got a man, and right through the hands of number 14, Torrance Wiseman. he had that ball in his hands and he had some green in front of him. It could have been a big play, but he was not able to haul it in. So that was the first incompletion for Retzlaff in this game after completing his first 7. So Retzlaff, Johnson behind him. He's got 3 wide to his right. He's going to pass it out to his left, and that was Ojalabi.
Pass is completed to number 9, John Ojolabali. Tackled by number 23, Shane Schill.
Ojalabi, his second catch of the game. It was all Tanner Branson on that first drive, and now this seems to be all Ojalabi. 3rd down and 1, and that is the end of the first quarter. So after 1 here at Dick Tucker Field, the Golden West Rustlers lead this game 7-0.
To Original Pizza Sports Bar and Grill for their continued support of Pirates Athletic.
And the Rustlers have to be happy with what they're seeing so far from their offense. Looks like a well-oiled machine here in this very first game. Still too many penalties on the defensive side, but they were able to hold the Pirates scoreless. And so we're going to head to the second quarter with a 7-0 lead for Golden West. So Coach Mitchell told me that he was going to rotate some of his quarterbacks. He said that we were going to see a little bit of Sam Simrel, we were going to see some of Gabe Friend, but that first quarter it was all Jake Retzlaff, and Retzlaff looks like a guy who's not willing to let go of that quarterback position, as he put up some really good numbers. And Retzlaff drops back to pass, gets that ball off, complete across the middle to Ojalabi, and Ojalabi out across close to the 40-yard line, and a first down for the Rustlers.
Number 5, Corey Sampson, and number 7, Ronnie Cannon on the tackle.
So Retzlaff definitely getting comfortable with his wide receivers. That's his 9th completion, 4 to Branson, 3 to Ojalabi. Retzlaff takes a snap, turns, hands it to Johnson. Johnson out across the middle, close to the 30-yard line, and that looks like another first down for the Rustlers. It's going to be close.
Tripped up by number 13, Jagger Rafkin.
And it might be inches short. It's going to be second down and inches at the 30-yard line. Retzlaff going to sneak this one, and there is a flag on the field. Retzlaff picked up the first down, but let's see what that flag is. We'll see if that first down is going to stand.
First play, illegal substitution, number 40 of the defense. That'll be a first down.
So illegal substitution called on the Pirates, and that's going to be a first down for Golden West. Ball's going to be moved to the 24-yard line.
First and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Retzlaff in the shotgun. He's got Hurd in the backfield with him. Branson on the handoff. And not much there.
Number 11, Jake Retzlaff.
Actually, Retzlaff kept that one. Looked like he had handed it off to Branson, but Retzlaff faked it, kept it, and maybe picked up half a yard. Doesn't look like he got anything on there. Sets up a second down and 10 on the 24-yard line. Retzlaff with Hurd in the backfield. He's got one wide to his right. 2 to his left. Retzlaff drops back to pass. He's got nobody open. He's going to take off with this one. Shakes a tackle, picks up maybe 3 before being brought down.
Number 59, Grant Conaway on the tackle for the Pirates.
Grant Conaway makes the tackle after a pickup of 3. He's going to set up a 3rd down and 7 for the Rustlers.
3rd and 7.
Retzlaff has Johnson in the backfield with him. He's got Branson and Ojalabi to his right. Wiseman to the left. There's a swing out to Johnson. Johnson's got it at the 20. He's going to be brought down about the 17-yard line, but he's going to be well short of a 1st down.
Tackled by number 6, Marquise Alexander.
And that's going to bring up 4th down. And we'll see if they bring in the field goal team. And they are. It's going to be Jake Cypress. Retzlaff going to be holding.
They'll bring up 4th down.
It's going to be a 34-yard field goal attempt for Cypress.
Jake Cypress with the field goal attempt.
Cypress. There's the snap. The kick is up, and it is good. And that's 3 points on the board for Golden West. The Rustlers lead this game 10-0 with 7 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the first half.
The Rustlers lead the Pirates 10-0.
So once again, the offense looking pretty good for Golden West, but they stalled as they got deep into Orange Coast territory. Jake Retzlaff, 10 of 11 in this game so far for 94 yards. He's also got 21 yards rushing and a touchdown. Tanner Branson caught 4 passes on that first drive and has not caught a pass since.
Number 1, Boogie Lily Sneed.
Boogie Lily Sneed and Noah Scobies back to receive this kickoff. Jake Cypress set to kick off. And Cypress with the kick. This one is going to be taken by Lily Sneed at about the 7. He's out across the 10 to the 15, and he is met there at the 17-yard line, and that is where Orange Coast College will start this 3rd possession. Jared Johnson on the tackle for Golden West. And Orange Coast definitely needs to get something going here
10 yards on the return. It'll be 1st and 10.
so that they can get on the board before we head to the half. It is 10-0, and this game has been all Golden West. Orange Coast just 51 yards of total offense in this first half so far. Canella taking the snap, turns and hands, and a pickup of maybe 3 yards there.
21,
Not much there for Colin Gregg. That was Gregg's first carry of the game. Ismail Souza with the tackles. Souza has been all over the place here in this first half. Souza with 4 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and a sack. There's the handoff to Gregg, and he picks up a few yards. Pick up about 5 yards. Sets up a 3rd down and 1.
And number 8, Richard Manuzzi. Taken to the 26-yard line. Gain of 5 yards over.
Josue Alexander on the tackle there. Third down and 1 for Canella and the Orange Coast offense. Canella's going to drop back, completes that pass out to Lacrosse, and Lacrosse across the 40-yard line to the 41. A 14-yard pickup for a first down. That was the longest pass of the day so far for Orange Coast College, as they've got themselves a first down at their own 40-yard line. Canella takes a snap, turns, and hands it off to Greg. Greg across the 40 to the 42-yard line, close to the 43, a pickup of maybe 2 yards. Going to set up a second down and 8.
21, Colin Gregg, the ball carrier, tackled by 93, Darren Vasquez.
Maybe 3 yards on that pickup.
Ball's taken to the 43.
Second down and 7.
Yards will bring up second and 7.
Canella with Greg in the backfield, takes a snap, turns, fakes the handoff to Greg. He's got that one to Lacrosse, across the field, out past the 40-yard line, down to the 36. A big play for the Pirates, and they are in business at the 37-yard line of the Rustlers.
First down in Rustlers territory at the 37-yard line.
Big play for Edwin Lacrosse, who's caught 4 of Canella's 6 completions in this game. Orange Coast at the 37-yard line. Handoff to Greg. Greg's going to get across the 35 to close to the 34. Pick up a 3. Sets up a second down and 7. We are under 4 minutes left in this first half. Orange Coast trying to get on the board before half. Canella takes a snap, drops back to pass. He's looking deep. He's got A.J. Allen, but Allen not able to come up with it.
Intended for number 11, A.J. Allen. He'll bring up 3rd and 7 from the 34-yard line.
Excellent coverage there, and Allen was not able to come up with it. Number 28, Prince Ford, on the coverage there, was right on A.J. Allen, and Allen was not able to get any kind of separation to make that catch. Sets up a 3rd down and 7, and this is a big play for the Pirates if they want to get on the board before the end of this first half. There's the snap, but there is a whistle, and looks like Orange Coast College has called a timeout. Their first timeout with 3 minutes and 31 seconds remaining here in the first half. Golden West holds a 10-0 lead.
With 3:31 remaining in the second quarter, the visiting Golden West College Rustlers lead the Orange Coast College Pirates 10-0.
So this is by far the best drive of the day for Orange Coast. Came into this drive with just 51 yards of total offense, and they've got 49 on this drive alone. Finally putting it together, but they need to pull off something here on 3rd down and 7 if they're going to come away with points. Last thing you want to do if you are Orange Coast is not get points on this drive. So this drive started on the 17-yard line for Orange Coast. They've driven it all the way out into Golden West territory at the 34, but a big 3rd down and 7. And it looks like movement along the line. Looks like number 71, Isaiah Morton.
False start against the offense. Number 77. Still 3rd down.
They called that on number 77, Nick Greco. Looked like Isaiah Morton also moved. Could have gone on either one of those fellas. Going to move them back 5 yards, setting up a 3rd down and 12. Canella setting up with Colin Gregg in the backfield. He's got 2 wide to the right, 2 wide to the left. Lacrosse way out to the right. That's been the guy he's been going to, and is looking for Lacrosse again. Unable to find him, and that ball is off of the hands of number 11, A.J. Allen, and into the Rustlers' hands, number 28, Prince Ford. Prince Ford on the deflection off of the hands of A.J. Allen, and the best drive of the day for the Pirates ends with an interception. Huge play for Prince Ford.
And there was no one who was more surprised about that interception than Ford himself. He was just coming over to make sure that the guy was wrapped up, and in taking one step to his right, the ball ends up hitting his chest before he realizes that he had possession.
Well, it looked to me like A.J. Allen realized he was not going to get a first down on that and was moving forward before he ever secured the ball, and it just bounced right out of his hands and into Ford's hands. Retzlaff with Johnson in the backfield. There's 3 minutes, 20 seconds left in this first half, and there's going to be a false start called on the Rustlers.
Before the snap. 74. False start. Offense.
Jack Raffo called for the false start. Going to move the Rustlers back 5 yards. There's 3 minutes, 21 seconds remaining here in the first half. 10-0. Golden West leads this game. They've got the ball on their own 36-yard line with a 1st and 15. Jake Retzlaff, the quarterback, he's got Johnson in the backfield, drops back to pass. He's looking deep, and Ojalabi fell. Ojalabi looking for a pass interference, but there is no flag. And he's still jawing at the referee, wondering where that flag is.
They'll bring up 2nd and 15 from the 36-yard line.
Second down and 15. Retzlaff, Wiseman and Branson to his right. Drops back to pass. He's going to swing it out to Johnson out of the backfield across the 40-yard line to the 45, and he's run out of bounds at the 46-yard line by number 13, Jagger Rafkin. And it's going to set up a 3rd down and about 5 after a 10-yard pass to Jared Johnson out of the backfield. Tanner Branson in motion. There's the snap. Retzlaff rolling out to his right, going to let go of it, and there's Branson. And that's the first catch by Branson since the first drive of this game, but he picks up the first down across midfield. And it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line as the clock keeps ticking. There's 2 minutes and 36 seconds left here in this first half as the Rustlers try and get on the board one more time before they head to the locker room. Looks like Hurd is back in at running back. Retzlaff with the handoff to Hurd out across the 45 to just a little bit past the 45-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of 2.
number 60.
brings up a 2nd down and 8 as the clock ticks down to 2 minutes.
Balls on the 45-yard line. A gain of 2 yards on the previous play. Will bring up
And
second
now
and
under 2 minutes. Retzlaff, Hurd still in the backfield with him, drops back to pass. He's looking for Olajabi, couldn't find him. There's Branson, though, out across the 30, out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
by number 5.
Run out of bounds by Corey Sampson, but not before a big pickup.
For the Rustlers at the 26-yard
And 1st down and 10 at the 26-yard line.
on the previous play.
19-yard pickup for Branson. Retzlaff has 3 wide to the right. Going to look for Olajabi. Got Olajabi out across the 20-yard line down to the 19.
John Ojalababi. Tackled by number 2.
Going to set up a 2nd down and 3. A minute and a half left in this first half. Golden West moving a little bit quickly. Retzlaff takes a snap, hands it off to Hurd, out down to about the 15-yard line. That's going to be another 1st down. 1st down and 10 at the 16-yard line.
60, Jesse Baragon, and number 55, Stanley Thomas.
1 minute, 12 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Number 60 of the defense will go off for 1 play.
Jesse Berrigan lost his helmet. He's going to have to leave the field for 1 play.
1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
Referee winds the clock. We're getting down to about 1 minute. Retzlaff in the backfield with Johnson. 1st and 10 on the 16-yard line. Retzlaff drops back to pass. He's looking. He's got a man wide open in the end zone and unable to pull it in
Pass ball is incomplete.
was Jared Shabani.
Jared Shabani.
Shabani was wide open, but just unable to bring it down. 2nd down and 10. 54 seconds on the clock, but I don't think that the clock's really going to be an issue because they're on the 16-yard line and they have two timeouts left. The entire playbook is open for the Rustlers right now. Retzlaff drops back to pass. He's going to keep it. He's out across the 15 to the 10, down to the 5-yard line. He's still going down to the 2. 1st down and goal on the run by Retzlaff, but there is a flag on the field. Referees are conferring. Let's see what they say. No indication on the field of what this call is going to be. Flags on the complete opposite side of the field.
During the play, personal foul, slap to the head, number 23 of the defense. That'll be an automatic 1st down.
So Shane Scheel.
Correction, the foul was on number 13 of the defense.
Excuse me. Jagger Rafkin called for a slap to the face personal foul. Going to be half the distance to the goal line. 1-yard penalty there. Move to the 1. Last time they were down here, Retzlaff just ran it in. Retzlaff takes the handoff or takes the snap, and once again, Retzlaff is into the end zone. Touchdown, Golden West. 2nd rushing touchdown of the game for Jake Retzlaff, who is having one heck of a first half for the Golden West Rustlers. They go up 16-0 on that quarterback keeper. And with 36 seconds left in the first half, Golden West has a comfortable lead as they're about to head into the locker room. Cyprus adds the extra point, and the score is 17-0.
Good by number 50, Jake Cyprus. With 36 seconds left in the second quarter, the visiting Golden West College Rustlers lead the Orange Coast College Pirates 17-0.
What a huge turnover that turned out to be. That ball off of the hands of A.J. Allen and into the hands of Prince Ford. And Golden West takes the ball and drives it down the field and scores.
And it's not just those points, it's the momentum. You were talking about it when Orange Coast was on that drive. They had gained more yardage on that specific drive than at any other point in the ball game. And then all of a sudden to see it end like that into a turnover and turn it into points as well, it's a double-edged sword that goes against Orange Coast.
And it's going to be really tough for Coach Bubba Gonzalez to get their heads back into this game after that huge momentum shift.
Back for the kick for the Pirates is number 22, Noah Scobies, and number 3, Aaron Fletcher.
Noah Scobies, Aaron Fletcher back to return the kick. Boogie Lily Sneed had been back on the previous kickoffs. He's not going to be back there now. There's the kick. Scobus takes it out across the 20 to the 25 to the 30 to the 35 out to the 40. Still on his feet out to the 45-yard line. And with 27 seconds left in this first half, Orange Coast has a chance to actually get on the board after a huge return by Noah Scobus. That was a really big play by Noah Scobus to put them in a position where they could still score. And it looks like there's a man down on the sidelines, and it looks like it's Scobus. Canelo drops back to pass, and instead is just going to hand it off. And nothing there for David Hernandez. Very questionable play call there. Canelo looking down the field, and he bounces that one.
Pass ball's incomplete for number 1, Boogie Lily Sneed.
Looking for Boogie Lily Sneed. And after that huge return, a chance to get some momentum, and then that strange handoff and a bounced pass, and it looks like Orange Coast is not going to come up with anything after that huge return by Scobus. And they're just going to hand it off to Hernandez out to the 50-yard line, where he is met by a wall. There's a flag on the field. The clock is showing triple zeros. Let's see what that flag is. If it's on Golden West, there will be one more play, and maybe Orange Coast heaves it into the end zone.
Holding 75 of the offense.
And it is
Will be declined.
on Orange Coast, a hold,
At the end of the first half,
and that's going to bring the first half to a close.
Rustlers lead the Orange Coast College Pirates 17-0.
After one half, Golden West leads this game 17-0. The offense has been on point. The defense has played really well, and I don't think Nick Mitchell could have asked for more from his team than what he saw there in that first half. You know, you talked about rivalries going back 50 years. This is the 54th time these two teams have met. This is a rivalry game. So Orange Coast is not just going to lay down and just give this game away, but they're definitely going to have to do something to change things up. As the teams take the field, we're about to see the kickoff for the second half. Remember, Golden West won the toss. They elected to defer, so they're going to get the ball to start the second half, already up 17-0. And it was just a fantastic first half for the Golden West Rustlers.
Number 93, Zach Grisani. In the backfield, number 2, Ivan Lloyd. And number 7, Justin Hinsey.
Justin Hinsey and Iman Loy back to receive the opening kick here in the second half. And there is the kick taken by Leroy at the 5, across the 10 to the 15, to the 20, out across the 25. He's still on his feet to the 30, out down past the 32, the 33-yard line. And that is where Golden West will start this second half, already up 17 points. And Jake Retzlaff going to see if he can pick up where he left off. Or can Orange Coast do something to break that momentum and get back into this game? They've had a couple chances to break that momentum. They had that interception where they were driving, looked like they were going to get back into it. And then right at the very end of the half, after the touchdown, they returned the ball all the way to the 45, but were not able to get anything in those last 30 seconds. So Retzlaff, with both Johnson and Hurd in the backfield, looking for Braden Johnson. And that pass is incomplete. So Retzlaff throws an incompletion on his first pass of the second half. Johnson and Hurd in the backfield. Johnson moving to the left, and that ball is bounced. And Retzlaff throws that ball incomplete and also ends up on the turf there. And maybe this is what they needed to do. A couple of incompletions. Retzlaff ends up on the floor after that second incompletion. Maybe this is what Orange Coast defense needed to do to get back into this game. If they could force a 3-and-out, that could switch the momentum up. Retzlaff set to take the snap. It's 3rd down and 10 on the 33. Retzlaff drops back to pass. And through the hands of Tanner Branson, and a really quick 3-and-out. And just moments after I say I don't see Orange Coast making this change, they come out and force a 3-and-out. 19 seconds, Golden West had the ball, and immediately Orange Coast is going to get the ball back. Absolutely huge possession for the defense there for the Pirates as they hope to get back into this game.
Number 3, Aaron Fletcher back to receive.
Aaron Fletcher back to receive this kick. Kick is up. Fletcher's going to take this one, and he's going to call for the fair catch at the 27-yard line, and that is where Orange Coast will get their first possession of the second half. There is a penalty marker. Let's see what that is.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker against the defense.
Wow. Roughing the kicker.
Automatic first down.
Absolutely huge penalty. Gives Golden West a first down after an excellent defensive stop by the Pirates. The ball goes back to Golden West on a roughing the kicker penalty. And just once again, that's the third time where Orange Coast seemed like they were going to get some momentum and they just give it away. First time being the interception, second time after that kickoff return at the end of the first half, and then right there after a great defensive stop, they give the ball up. Huge penalty. So we'll see what Golden West can do with this second chance. Retzlaff had as many incompletions on the first 3 plays of the second half as he did in the entire first half. Golden West going to get the ball back now after the penalty, taking over on their own 48-yard line. And let's see if Retzlaff can get himself comfortable again. Only 3 incompletions in the first half, 3 incompletions on the first possession here in the second half. Retzlaff with Johnson and Hurd in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to Hurd. He's going out around the right side of the field.
17 the ball
and dragged down at about the 50-yard line. Pickup of 2.
Johnson. Ball's taken to the 50-yard line, a gain of 2 yards. They'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Braden Johnson with the tackle there. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 8 on the 50-yard line. Once again, 2 backs. We didn't see 2 backs at all in the first half, but we've seen 2 backs every play here in the second half. There's the handoff to Hurd. He's out across the 50-yard line to about the 47. Pickup of about 3 yards. Going to set up a 3rd down and 5.
Number 60 will be out for 1 play.
Jesse Berrigan loses his helmet. Second time that's happened to Berrigan today. He's going to have to leave the field.
They'll bring up 3rd down at the 47-yard line.
Retzlaff going to set up with Jared Johnson behind him. He's got 2 wide to the right, 2 wide to the left. There's a snap. Retzlaff drops back, looking across the field. That ball is caught by Wiseman. But Wiseman unable to turn up the field and actually ended up losing a couple yards on that completion. And that's going to set up a 4th down, and Golden West is going to have to punt again. So even after that roughing the kicker penalty, Orange Coast defense maintains, and they're going to force another punt. There's the kick. Fair catch called for, going to be taken. And they're actually going to let that one bounce. It's going to take a nice Golden West bounce and roll dead at the 6-yard line. And that is where Orange Coast will get their first possession of the second half. So Brandon Cannella heads out onto the field for his first possession of the second half. He was 7 of 11 for 61 yards and that big interception in the first half. David Hernandez is starting the second half in the backfield along with Cannella. And Hernandez is going to take the handoff to start, and he's going to be dropped down at the 5, a loss of 1. Sets up a 2nd down and 11. Josue Alexander drops him for a loss of 1. Alex Raich also in on that tackle. Cannella with Hernandez in the backfield. He's got 2 wide to his right, 2 wide to his left. Takes a snap standing on the goal line. There's the handoff, and Hernandez out across the 10, close to the 15-yard line. Pickup of about 9. Going to set up a 3rd down and 2. Big 3rd down here for the Pirates. Twice they forced Golden West to punt, and they really need to get something going on offense. There's the handoff to Hernandez, and he's not going to get it. He's going to be stopped right in his tracks, maybe picked up a few inches, but that was it. And that's going to bring up a 4th down and 2, and Orange Coast is going to have to punt again. Josue Alexander with another tackle. And so out comes the punt team. And it looks like it's going to be Iman Lewoy back to return this kick. Coach Mitchell told me that he was going to be experimenting with returners. Lewoy calling for a fair catch and takes that one at the Orange Coast 49-yard line. And they're actually going to mark that one right at the 50-yard line. And that's where Golden West will take over. 1st and 10, 11 minutes, 5 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Golden West leads this game by a score of 17-0. Neither team able to do anything with their first possession of the second half. Jake Retzlaff leading the team back onto the field. Retzlaff is 15 of 21, 134 yards so far in this game. He's got Giovanni Hurd in the backfield with him. Tanner Branson, John Olajabi been his two main targets. Fakes the handoff to Hurd. He's going deep. He's got a man wide open and pulled down for a big first down by Nick Kennewell. Nick Kennewell brings it down to the 23-yard line. Big first down. Pickup of 27 yards on first down. Retzlaff once again with Hurd in the backfield. He's going to give it to Hurd. Hurd right up the middle. Big hole out past the 10 to the 5. He's down to the 1-yard line.
Number 17, Gianni Hurd, the ball carrier on the play. Tackle by number 546.
And a 22-yard run for Hurd brings him down to the 1. Third time in this game that Golden West is snapping from the 1. And once again, they're going to have Retzlaff try and bring it in. Doesn't look like he did get it. Third rushing touchdown of the game for Jake Retzlaff. And Golden West extends their lead. It's 23-0. 3 rushing touchdowns for Jake Retzlaff.
With the 1-yard touchdown rush.
Jake Retzlaff with those quarterback keepers on the 1-yard line, looking like Cam Newton circa 2010. Extra point is up. Extra point is good. It is 24-0. Golden West. And Orange Coast had a chance once again to take momentum after those defensive stops. They got that big defensive stop. There was the roughing the kicker. They got another defensive stop and then went 3 and out, unable to steal the momentum away.
Those are the types of penalties that really drive coaches nuts because they know that they had the stop. They know that they had the momentum, the opportunity to switch things up. But instead, it's just a mental mistake. It's just one little action that forces it to go the other way. And again, with that third rushing touchdown, shades of Espinoza again because Golden West has a guy that they can rely on, not just his arms, but his legs as well.
So Golden West set to kick off here, up 24-0. And Orange Coast needs to really do something with this possession or this game could get out of hand.
Kicking off with Rustlers are 50, Jake Cypress.
Cypress kicking off. And this ball is going to be taken at the 1-yard line, out past the 10 to the 15, out to the 20, and run out of bounds at the 21-yard line is Noah Scobus.
Scobie is the ball carrier, the returner on the play.
Scobus had that big return earlier in the game. Gets that one out to about the 21.
On the tackle. A 21-yard
And
return.
Brandon Canella heads out to the field. Pressure is starting to mount on Canella. He's got to get something going here. Canella takes the handoff, takes the snap, hands it off, and dropped in the backfield.
88, the ball carrier.
J.P. Segura.
Tackled in the backfield by number 4, Pablo Aria. And 41, Harrison Coleman.
Pablo Araya with the tackle there. Lots of tackles for losses in this game. Going to be a 2nd down and 12. And Orange Coast just cannot get that running game going. Canella swings that one out to Fletcher. Aaron Fletcher with the catch. Pickup of maybe 4. Aaron Fletcher's first catch of this game. Sets up a 3rd down and 9. Canella takes a snap. He drops back. He's looking. He's going to air this one out. And unable to come up with that ball. He was looking for Aaron Fletcher again. Pablo Araya on the coverage there. Did not look like Fletcher had any chance of catching that. And once again, a 3 and out for Orange Coast. Orange Coast 1 of 9 on 3rd down today. There's the punt. Lewoy tells everyone, get away from it, get away. That's going to take a bounce, and it's going to roll. And it's stopped at about the 33-yard line, 34-yard line of Golden West. First and 10, Golden West. They lead this game by a score of 24-0. Their offense has been clicking on all cylinders. Their defense has looked amazing. Really not much you can complain about if you are a fan of the Golden West Rustlers tonight. This has been about as well as you could expect the team to come out and perform here in the first game of the season. So Retzlaff is going to take the field. He's got Giovanni Hurd behind him. He's got 4 wide receivers. Retzlaff takes the snap, and he's going to keep it. Hurd blocking for him. Retzlaff up the middle, picks up about 5 yards.
Tripped up by number 99, Jesse Sparks. Ball's taken to the 41-yard line.
Pickup of 7. 2nd down and 3 for Retzlaff and the Rustlers. Retzlaff turns, fakes the handoff to Hurd, and he keeps it again. And he's out across the 45 to the 46-yard line and another 1st down.
Number 11, Jake Retzlaff, the ball carrier. Number 7, Ronnie Cannon, the tackler on the play. 1st and 10 at the 46.
Retzlaff takes the snap, turns around, hands it off to Hurd. A pickup of 2 there. Excuse me, that was Gavin Chappelle on the handoff. So Gavin Chappelle getting his first snaps of this game. 2-yard pickup brings up a 2nd and 8 for Golden West. Retzlaff takes a snap, drops back to pass, and looks like they were off a little bit off there. He was looking for Jair McGee.
Jair McGee, there's the penalty mark on the field.
A sideline warning against the Golden West sideline.
So 3rd down and 8 for Golden West. Retzlaff has 4 wide, takes a snap and drops back, and bounced that one, was looking for Kennewell. And it's going to be a 4th down, and the Rustlers are going to have to punt.
48-yard line. Andrew Guzman back to punt for the Rustlers. And number 3, Aaron Fletcher to receive for the Pirates.
There's a snap. Punt is away. Fletcher back deep to get this one, but he's going to let it bounce. Bounces about the 24-yard line, and it's going to be down right there at the 24. And Orange Coast is going to take over.
Punt is down at the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Orange Coast College Pirates.
And Orange Coast has not been able to do anything on offense. They had that one big drive that ended in the interception. They've gained 15 yards of offense since then. Just not able to put anything together. Canella takes a snap, drops back to pass. He's getting pressured, and he is going down. Big sack by number 93, Darren Vasquez. Darren Vasquez, the defensive lineman that Coach Mitchell talked to me about earlier this week, saying they were really excited to see what he was going to be able to do. That was a big sack for Vasquez. 2nd down and 19. Canella drops back to pass. He swings that one out. That pass is complete, but there is nothing there, and they actually lost a couple yards on that completion. Emmanuel Robert with the catch. Loss of 2. Loss of 1. 3rd down and 20 for Orange Coast. Canella drops back to pass. Here comes the pressure again. He's rolling out. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get rid of this one. He did get rid of it from the end zone. Able to get that ball away. Caught by J.P. Segura, but nowhere near close to the 1st down. A pickup of about 6. And just the backfield pressure. Nothing that Canella could do there. Just too much pressure. And it's going to be 4th and 14, and they're going to have to punt once again. Lewoy back to catch this punt, and Golden West might have got a piece of that one, as it's down at the 35-yard line. I don't know if they got a piece of that one or if he just was not able to get good footing because of the pressure and a bad snap. But just a 14-yard punt. By Zach Grisotti. Zach Grisotti with a 15-yard punt. And Golden West going to set up on the Orange Coast 35-yard line. Already leading this game by a score of 24-0. Looking to add to it. Retzlaff with Hurd in the backfield. Takes a snap, hands it off. Hurd's got the ball. Cross the 35, past the 30, down to the 32-yard line, 31-yard line. 9-yard pickup by Hurd.
Ball's taken to the 26-yard line. They'll bring up 2nd and 1.
2nd down and 1. Retzlaff takes the snap, turns, hands it to Hurd. Hurd across the 30, run out of bounds at about the 27. Maybe a loss of 1 on that. A pickup of 1. Going to set up a 3rd down and inches. Retzlaff with Hurd in the backfield on a 3rd and 1. High snap and unable to get the handoff to Hurd, and a tackle in the backfield.
Number 17, Johnny Hurd on the carry. Tackled by number 6, Marquise Alexander in the backfield.
Loss of about 3, going to set up a 4th down and 4.
A loss of 3 yards in the previous play will bring up 4th down.
It looks like Golden West is going to go for it, maybe a little bit too far for a field goal. Would be a 46-yarder from here. Retzlaff has Jared Johnson in the backfield with him. Drops back to pass. There's the pass, complete. Oh, incomplete. Through the hands of Dejon Newman. And it's a turnover on downs.
Will be 1st and 10 for the Orange Coast College Pirates at the 29-yard line.
And it seems like Coach Nick Mitchell might be calling off the dogs a little bit here in the 3rd quarter. We haven't seen Tanner Branson. We haven't seen John Olajabi. Looking more to the run game as Golden West leads this game by a score of 24-0. Orange Coast unable to do anything on offense in this game. They're going to take over 1st and 10. There's the pass. He's going deep. Looking for number 11, A.J. Allen. Allen unable to come up with it. Allen once again covered by Prince Ford, and Prince Ford has just shut A.J. Allen down today. Second down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Canella drops back, looking, and he's going to air this one out. Prince Ford, did he get that one? Oh, looked like Prince Ford almost had his 2nd interception of the game as Canella forced that ball downfield, looking for A.J. Allen again. Prince Ford has just been all over the field and has completely shut down A.J. Allen and nearly came up with his 2nd interception of the game right there. Third down and 10. Orange Coast 1 of 10 on 3rd downs tonight. There's the handoff. And they finally got themselves a 3rd down conversion on a run up the middle by Colin Gregg for a pickup of about 16. And a 1st down for Orange Coast. Moved out to their own 44-yard line. First down we've seen from Orange Coast in a while there. And there's another handoff to Gregg. Colin Gregg out across the 45 to about the 49-yard line, a pickup of about 5.
Take it to the 48-yard line. A gain of 4 yards will bring up 2nd and 6.
2nd down and 6 on the 48-yard line. Brandon Canella takes the snap, hands it off to Gregg again. 3rd straight run by Gregg, and he trips his way up to about the 48-yard line of Golden West, and it's going to set up a 3rd down and 2 for the Pirates. And they are going to need to come up with something very, very soon. And there's Gregg once again. 4th straight run by Gregg. And this is going to be really close to a 1st down. It looks like he got it.
The far side line judge had him a 1.5 yards short. The near side line judge said that he went for the reach and got it.
1st down. That was really, really close. But yeah, there's definitely 2 different spots there. So 2 first downs on this drive. Orange Coast finally getting something done as we're approaching 1 minute left in the third quarter. Colin Gregg leading the way on this drive. Canella drops back to pass. He's looking way deep. He's going to air this one out and well over the head of Boogie Lily Sneed. And there's a flag.
At the 46-yard line, there's a penalty marker on the field.
And I didn't see anything happening on the field. That might be an after the play penalty.
Looked like there was a lot of jawing back and forth across the field once that play ended up finishing, because both guys collided with each other, kind of tripped over their own feet, and afterwards they both had something to say.
Be interesting to see who this penalty is going to be on.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 38 of the defense.
So
That'll be his first unsportsmanlike for the contest.
Marquise Brown Leonard called for the unsportsmanlike, and that's going to bring the ball to the 31-yard line of Golden West. Not a penalty that you want to get there. Your defense is shutting them down. They got a little bit of a drive started, but you still don't want to give up those free yards there. Not the kind of penalty that they're going to like to see. And there's a fumble on the snap. And Canella goes down. He lost his helmet, and he is slow to get up. Josue Alexander with the tackle, and Canella is not getting up. So one way or another, we're going to see J.D. Rafkin come in because Canella lost his helmet, but it looks like he is definitely hurt as the trainers are going to attend to him. And Canella is sitting up now, so that's a good sign. You can see him moving his legs. Nothing there. And they're going to help him up off the field. And he shakes off the trainers, and he's going to walk off on under his own power. But you definitely can see he's feeling a little shooken up there. And we're going to see Rafkin come in. Big blow to Orange Coast as they finally had a drive going, and then they lose their quarterback.
Number 12 of the OCC will be on for one play.
So Rafkin in at quarterback. Colin Gregg in the backfield with him. Colin Gregg has been the star of this drive for the Pirates. There's a snap. Rafkin looking downfield. And he finally, A.J. Allen with the catch. Prince Ford with the tackle. Ford has been shutting him down, but finally A.J. Allen with the catch, and it's going to be a 3rd down and 3. Rafkin drops back to pass again. Here comes the blitz on the outside. Looking for Allen again, just out of the reach of Prince Ford. Nearly an interception for Prince Ford. Rafkin was looking for A.J. Allen again after A.J. Allen just got his first catch of the game. It's a 4th down and 4 from the 25-yard line. There's 25 seconds left here in the third quarter with Orange Coast down 24-0. They've got to get something, and they're going to call a timeout. And looking down at the Orange Coast sideline, it looks like Brandon Canella wants to come back in. A question of whether they're going to allow him to, but he definitely looks like he wants to get back out there on the field. It would appear right now that Rafkin's going to stay out there. So a big 4th down coming up right now for Orange Coast. They have got to get into the end zone on this drive. If they come away with nothing, that is going to be very deflating to the team. So Retzlaff going to set up as quarterback. Canella still on the sideline. Colin Gregg in the backfield with Rafkin. Sorry. Rafkin takes a snap, hands it off to Gregg. Gregg is stopped in his tracks, a loss of one, and another turnover on downs.
Number 21, the blocker, Colin Gregg. Tackle by number 8, Richard Meduski, and 54.
And a huge tackle there, and Orange Coast comes away with nothing on that drive.
And Matt, they went to a play that had given them a lot of success earlier on in this game. You go off that right tackle, just try and bring an up back to go and block for you, and all of a sudden they found themselves with 6 or 7 yard gains. However, Golden West had seen it multiple times on the previous drive, so they sniffed it out here.
Absolutely, and that brings another drive to an end. And with just 20 seconds left in the third quarter and up by 24 points, Golden West, you would assume, is going to start looking to take some of this clock down. Retzlaff takes a snap and hands it off. There's Jared Johnson out to the right side, picks up maybe 2 yards, and that's going to bring the third quarter to a close. Clock ticks down on the third quarter. We head to the fourth quarter here at Dick Tucker Field in Costa Mesa, California, with the Golden West Rustlers leading the Orange Coast College Pirates by a score of 24-0 here in the 53rd Battle for the Bell. So as I was saying earlier, the battle for the bell, this rivalry game, Golden West has won the last 4, looking to make it 5 in a row. They've also won 9 of the last 10, have really taken control of this rivalry, looking to make it 10 of the last 11, and it's going to take quite a finish for Orange Coast College if they are going to find their way back into this game.
The last time that Orange Coast beat Golden West, it was with huge playoff implications because it was towards the end of the season. Golden West had an excellent year, and then going into that Orange Coast game, pretty much all they needed was to lock up Orange Coast, and they had at minimum an at-large bid. All of a sudden, Golden West, Orange Coast goes down to the wire, and Orange Coast is able to come back and get a win in that one. So, yeah, 1 win for Orange Coast in the last, 10 years or so, but it was a big one.
And that's what happens with rivalry games. You never know what's going to happen. We still have 15 minutes left in this game. Anything can happen. Retzlaff drops back to pass. He's looking. He's pressured. He's going to roll out past the 30 to the 35, out across the 40 to the 45, and he runs out of bounds at the 47. Jake Retzlaff. And there might have been a hold there out on the outside that freed Jake Retzlaff, and that's what I think that's going to be. It looks like a hold. Here's the call.
During the run, holding number 76 of the offense. Repeat second down.
So it was a hold by Brad Sweeney that freed Retzlaff around the outside for that big gain. So it's going to come back. As a lot of the fans are starting to head towards the exits in a game that has been all Golden West. So 2nd down and 18 for Golden West. Retzlaff takes the snap, drops back to pass. He's looking to the outside. He was looking for Wiseman. Unable to hit Wiseman, going to set up a 3rd down and 18. So we've definitely seen Orange Coast pressure Retzlaff, get to Retzlaff. He was 14 of 17 in the first half. He's just 2 of 9 here in the second half. Drops back to pass and unable to hit Johnson out of the backfield. Another incompletion. And there are flags. And I think we're going to see another unsportsmanlike. Referees are conferring. Let's see what we got here. It would be 4th down and 18 without the penalty. But we'll see what that penalty is going to be. If it's going to give Golden West new life.
Okay, ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 77 of the offense. That'll be his first unsportsmanlike of the contest.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Ernesto Nava. Going to move Golden West back. And that's one thing that you see with these rivalry games. These teams starting to get a little chippy out there. When you got a rivalry game and it's a little out of hand, we start to see words go back and forth. We start to see hands go back and forth. And we get some of those unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. That's the second one we've seen in the last few minutes. So Golden West set to punt. And this is going to be excellent field position for Orange Coast. There's the punt. And it's a short one. It's going to go out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. And a chance for Orange Coast to get on the board. So the defense has done their job here in the second half for Orange Coast, but the offense has not, and have not been able to get on the scoreboard and make a dent on that lead. It's 24-0. There's 14 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this game. Canella still on the sideline. Is going to be Rafkin, and I think it might be Rafkin for the remainder of this game. Rafkin sets up with David Hernandez in the backfield with him. And Rafkin going to hand it off to Hernandez, and once again stopped in the backfield.
Number 8, Richard Manuzzi. And 41, Harrison Covell on the tackle.
That was the 14th tackle for a loss. 14 tackles for loss for Golden West in this game. Just amazing pressure with that defensive line. Rafkin drops back to pass, looking, pressure coming, able to get it off. And A.J. Allen came up with it, but he was out of bounds. I don't know how Rafkin got that ball off. He had Richard Manuzzi just hanging on him and was somehow able to get that ball away. A.J. Allen was able to pull it down, but just unable to get a foot down in bounds. And it's going to set up a 3rd down and 12. Rafkin just 1 of 4 so far in this game. And it looks like there is motion on the line. And I think that might be going against Eric Hilliard, but we'll see. Looked like number 64, Eric Hilliard.
Ball start. 64 of the offense.
And it was number 64, Eric Hilliard, with a false start. Going to set up a 3rd down and 17. And once again, Orange Coast defense sets up the offense in great position, and the offense unable to do anything with it. Rafkin takes a snap, he drops back to pass, he's getting pressured, going to try and run with it. Nothing there, picks up maybe a yard. Going to set up a 4th down and 16.
Number 41, Harrison Covell on the tackle, bringing it 4th and long.
And just nothing they can do. Orange Coast going to punt this ball away once again. Zach Grizzotti out to punt. Amon Lavoie back deep to receive the punt. Punt is away. Lavoie going to let it fall. Bounces at the 20. Excellent bounce for Orange Coast, and it's going to be downed at the 7-yard line. So Golden West going to take over 1st and 10 at the 7. Jake Retzlaff back out onto the field has really struggled in this second half. Just 2 of 10 throwing the ball in the second half. Has made some plays with his legs, but the Orange Coast defense has really shut him down and kept Golden West from moving the ball like they did in that first half. Retzlaff takes the snap, hands the ball off. Johnny Hurd with the carry, picks up a yard. Johnny Hurd with 11 carries for 60 yards on the day, having a very good game. Retzlaff takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls out, gonna use his legs, out past the 10. Oh, and a huge hit at the 13-yard line. Just a giant hit there by Marquise Alexander. And exactly what I was talking about earlier about Orange Coast needing to make Retzlaff feel that pressure, feel that defense. And the defense has definitely stepped up here in the second half. They just haven't gotten anything from the offense. It's going to set up a 3rd down and about 4, maybe 5 yards to go.
Timeout. Golden West.
And Golden West is going to take a timeout.
That'll be their first, second half.
And I wonder if Retzlaff is feeling anything from that hit, because that was a vicious hit that he took. And last thing you want is for your quarterback to get hurt late in a game that seems to be completely under control. So after the timeout, there's going to be a change at quarterback. It's going to be Sam Simrell taking over for Retzlaff. And it looks like there is some motion.
False start. Number 15 of the offense. A 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So a false start penalty going to back him up even more. It's going to be 3rd down and 9. Simrell about to take his first snap of the game. And you wonder what Retzlaff is feeling after that big hit. Simrell takes a snap. He drops back to pass. Looking out across the middle. Overthrows his man. He was looking for Dejon Newman. And another punt coming for Golden West. So we have definitely seen this game start to slow down as neither offense seems to be doing much here in the second half. We saw 2 big plays on that touchdown drive for Golden West early in the third quarter. But other than that, there has been nothing offensively for either one of these teams. Cypress punt, going to head out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. Looks maybe about the 39. It's going to mark it at the 40-yard line. So Orange Coast, once again, going to set up in very good field position. The question is, can they do anything with it? So far today, they've not been able to do anything with it. It is still J.D. Rafkin out there at quarterback. I think it's probably safe to say Canella's day is done. So both starting quarterbacks are out with injury at this point. J.D. Rafkin drops back to pass, gets that one away through the hands of Lily Sneed and nearly intercepted. That's a pass that Lily Sneed needs to come down with, and he just was unable to. Rafkin just 1 of 5 since taking over a quarterback. Drops back to pass, lots of pressure, but able to find a man, and once again, dropped by Lily Sneed. So that is 2 passes in a row in the hands of Boogie Lily Sneed, and Lily Sneed unable to come down with it. Sets up a 3rd down and 10. And the frustration continues with this Orange Coast offense. Rafkin takes a snap. Going to look to the outside, able to complete the pass to Aaron Fletcher. Fletcher picks up 5, but it's going to set up a 4th down and 5. And Orange Coast has to go for it. No use in punting at this point. They need to score. Rafkin takes a snap, drops back to pass. Pressure once again, able to roll out of it and complete that pass to A.J. Allen across the middle. And Orange Coast down to the 20-yard line. And with 2-point conversions, this is still only a 3-score game. It's not over yet. There's 10 minutes, 41 seconds. If Orange Coast can get on the board right here, who knows what can happen. J.D. Rafkin with the pass, falls incomplete. J.P. Segura unable to come up with that. So it is 2nd down and 10 for Orange Coast at the 20-yard line. They need to score. They need to score quickly. They are down 24-0. There is still time to get back in this game, but they need to do it quickly. J.D. Rafkin, 2nd down and 10. Drops back to pass. He's got looking across the middle, unable to find his man. Was looking for J.P. Segura. And a big 3rd down for Orange Coast, although definitely 4th down territory. No way we're going to see any kicking out of Orange Coast moving forward in this game. J.D. Rafkin takes the snap, fakes a handoff, gets pressure, rolls out of it, looking for A.J. Allen and unable to hit A.J. Allen at the 1-yard line. Very good job by J.D. Rafkin to roll out of that pressure. And I guess I'm eating my words. I said there was going to be no kicking by Orange Coast, but they're going to try and get on the board here with a field goal. They're sending out their kicker. Zach Grisotti going to try and put Orange Coast on the board. This is going to be a 27-yard field goal attempt. There's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and that looks like they got a piece of it. That kick was blocked.
And the field goal is blocked by number 31, David Keith.
And so once again, Orange Coast does not come away with anything as Davion Keith got a hand on that field goal. And Golden West takes over with 10 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in this game, up 24-0.
First and 10 for the Rustlers.
So Retzloff still out. Looks like Gabe Friend going to get his first chance to take some snaps. We saw Sam Simrel in there in the last possession. Gabe Friend going to turn, and he's going to keep this ball out to the left side, pick up of about 7.
Number 16, quarterback keeper, Gabe Frank. Tackled by number 23, Shane Schill. Ball's marked at the 27-yard line. And the gain is 7 yards.
Pickup of 7 for Gabe Friend. Going to set up a 2nd down and 3. As we are under 10 minutes left in this game. Friend turns and hands off. Nothing there for Gavin Chappell.
Number 59, Grant Conway. And 99, Jesse Sparks on the tackle.
Nothing there for Chappell. Pickup of maybe a yard. Sets up a 3rd down and 1.
Down.
Gabe Friend takes the snap, hands it to Chappell. Nothing there. It's going to be close to the 1st down. I'm not sure if he got it, but it looks like they're moving the markers. 1st down. Gavin Chappell with the 1st down, and Golden West going to run some more time off the clock. And that looks like a false start.
Snap infraction. Number 64 in the offense. With a 5-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
So Michael DeViro called for a snap infraction, going to move the ball back 5 yards, sets up a 1st down and 15 for Gabe Friend and the Golden West Rustlers. Clock continues to tick. Friend hands the ball off to Chappell. Nothing there for him.
Number 29, Gavin Chappell, the ball carrier. Tackle number 7, Ronnie Canning.
Gavin Chappell, pickup of 1 yard there on the run to the left side. 4th carry of the day for Chappell. Gabe Friend drops back, looks like he's going to put it in the air for the first time. Swings it out to Chappell. Pickup of a few yards there.
Called by number 29, Gavin Chappell. Tackled by number 22 in the bounce, Noah Scopes.
And Gabe Friend has his first career college completion there. Sets up a 3rd down and 10 for Golden West. They are letting the clock run with each play here. Play clock down under 10 seconds. Gabe Friend takes the snap, drops back to pass, lets it go. Good pass, but unable to come up with it. Jakari Embry had that ball in his hands but unable to come up with it. And that's going to set up a 4th down. Just not much offense here in the second half for either team. There's the punt. Fair catch called and taken at the 30-yard line by Aaron Fletcher. And Orange Coast comes back out again, hoping to get something going. Since that big interception by Prince Ford, only 59 yards of offense for Orange Coast. Pass incomplete by J.D. Rafkin. Rafkin just 3 of 11 since taking over for Brandon Cannella after Cannella got hurt. Both starting quarterbacks are out in this game. Rafkin completes that pass out to the outside, taken by Jason Cannella. So Jason Cannella with the 1st down. Orange Coast trying to get something going. Under 7 minutes left in this game. Rafkin with the handoff, and there is nothing there. Running game just not getting going for Orange Coast. Colin Gregg with the carry. Orange Coast averaging just 1.9 yards per carry in this game. No running game at all. And movement on the outside. Looks like Aaron Fletcher might have moved.
False start. Number 3 in the offense.
It was Aaron Fletcher.
Second.
Time continues to run down. J.D. Rafkin, 2nd down and 15, takes a snap, drops back, throws a pass, complete to the outside to Lily Sneed. Lily Sneed having a rough game with a lot of drop passes, but was able to hold on to that one. 5-yard pickup sets up a 3rd down and 10 for Orange Coast as we are under 5.5 left in this game. Rafkin drops back to pass. He's getting a lot of pressure, able to roll out of it. Out across close to the 50-yard line, going to set up a 4th down and about 3. I don't know how he got out of that. J.D. Rafkin looking like Houdini there. And it's going to be a 4th down and 4. Rafkin drops back to pass. That pass is complete. Out to the outside, completed to Jason Cannella. So another 1st down for the Pirates, clinging on to whatever hope they have. And it looks like Jason Cannella is down. So that's the second Canella to be injured in this game. And they're going to help him up, and he's going to walk off under his own power. So we have 4 minutes, 48 seconds remaining in this game. Orange Coast College trailing the Golden West Rustlers by a score of 24-0. Trying to get a last gasp touchdown or something. I don't know if there's enough time for them to get back in this game. There's the handoff up the middle. Colin Gregg picks up 3 yards. Sets up a 2nd down and 7. Rafkin takes a snap. Handoff to Gregg. Maybe a yard there for Gregg. 2 yards maybe. Sets up a 3rd down and 5.
Number 21, Colin Gregg, the ball can play. Tackled by number 91, Elijah Martin.
Rafkin takes a snap, drops back to pass, getting some pressure, able to get rid of it, but not able to complete it. Looking for Lily Sneed, and that's going to set up a 4th down. And it would seem as though the chances for Orange Coast College are fading away. Big 4th down. But even if they make this, I don't know that there's enough time for them to get back in this game. Rafkin drops back to pass, gets it away, incomplete, and there's a flag. It's going to be a pass interference called. I don't know that that pass was catchable, but there was definitely contact there. And it looks like they're going to call a pass interference.
Defensive pass interference. Number 31 for the defense.
Davion Keith called for the pass interference. Going to set up another 1st down for Orange Coast as they continue to gasp as this game slowly ticks to a conclusion. Rafkin drops back to pass, looking deep. He's got a man, and it is caught. Touchdown, Boogie Lily Sneed. And the home crowd has a little something to cheer about. Still don't know that there's a chance for them to come back. But J.D. Rafkin connects with Boogie Lily Sneed on the touchdown pass, 33 yards, and Orange Coast College is on the board. But they are not going for 2. They're going to kick an extra point. Extra point is good. And the score is 24-7. So Orange Coast College gets on the board. Not really a chance to get back in this game, but they are not going to get shut out. So 3 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in this game. Orange Coast gets that 33-yard pass from J.D. Rafkin to Boogie Lily Sneed to get on the board for the first time today. The score is 24-7. And it's actually a tie game here in the second half. It was just that first half where Golden West got off to such a great start. Their offense was really clicking, running on all cylinders, jumped out to that big lead, had that huge interception by Prince Ford, which really changed the momentum. And Orange Coast defense has played an excellent game here in the second half, but just not able to be helped out by their offense. Offense finally gets on the board right now, but only 3 minutes and 34 seconds remaining. There's the onside kick, and that ball is recovered by Nick Kennewell. And Kennewell with the recovery, pretty much ending the night for Orange Coast College. Pirates do still have 2 timeouts left, but it's going to be really tough to come up with 17 points in 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Just going to be really, really tough. So it looks like Samrell is out there, and he's going to throw the ball. That pass is complete. Sonny Ham with the catch. Not sure why Golden West is throwing the ball right now. No gain on the play, as the clock is going to tick down under 3 minutes. Score is 24-7. Golden West can bring this clock down to around 2 minutes and 40 seconds before snapping it. Samrell, the quarterback, takes a snap, hands it off. And a short gain for Jet Davis. Jet Daves. Daves picks up 2 yards. It's a 3rd down and 8. And Golden West is going to be able to run this clock down to about 2 minutes. Sam Simrell in the shotgun. Going to take the snap with about 2 minutes on the clock. There's the handoff. Jet Daves once again with the carry. There is a flag at the end of the play. Once again, things getting a little chippy down there. You got a rivalry game. You got guys amped up, playing for the first time in nearly 2 years. Some of these chippy fouls are going to happen.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 74 of the offense.
That's Jack Raffo. Jack Raffo, offensive lineman for Golden West, called for the personal foul. Rustlers going to punt this one away. But this game is just about finished. They're going to run this clock down to about 1:30 by the time they snap it. Really no time for the Pirates to do anything before this game is over. Punt is taken to the 25, dropped at the 29-yard line, 4-yard return. And with 1:29 left in the game, Aaron Fletcher is taken down and Orange Coast will take over on their own 29-yard line. J.D. Rafkin gonna lead the Pirates on their final drive of this game. Rafkin 7 of 17, 92 yards and a touchdown. But he's actually looked a lot better than those numbers might suggest. There have been a lot of drop passes by Orange Coast. They're going to take a timeout here. Their second timeout, leaving them with just one. And so here we go. This should be the last couple of plays here in this game. Let's see if Orange Coast tries to move the ball or just let the clock run. Rafkin going to take the snap in the shotgun. They're going to try and get something. There's the pass completed out to number 80, Jair, or number 80 is Jason Canella. A first down. Rafkin drops back to pass, another completion. That one caught by Emmanuel Robert. Pickup of 3. Pickup of closer to 6 there. Second down and 4. Rafkin going to get that one off, and that one's completed. Another first down for Orange Coast. That was Boogie Lily Sneed. Under a minute left in the game. And a timeout taken by Golden West. Just 51 seconds left in this game. Even with a touchdown, Orange Coast is not coming back in this game, but just trying to get something. Give J.D. Rafkin a little bit of confidence moving into next week. Rafkin up to 10 of 20 for 121 yards and a touchdown. Rafkin really has put together a pretty nice looking fourth quarter. Here we go, first down and 10. Rafkin takes the snap, drops back to pass. Looking, nothing open. He's going to run with the ball, able to get rid of it. And that pass is completed. Pass caught by William Sullivan. Pickup of 6, second down and 4. Rafkin looking downfield. Nearly intercepted. He was looking for Bo Dionio. 24 seconds left in this game. J.D. Rafkin set to take the snap. Drops back to pass. Pressure once again. Able to get out of it. Hit very hard. And I think Nope, Orange Coast is going to call a timeout. I thought they were going to just let the clock run there, but they're going to take one last timeout. And we're probably going to get one more play before this thing is over. So 17 seconds left in the game. 24-7, Golden West leads.
Matt, when you look at the way that OCC played in the second half, their defense really showed up here in quarters 3 and 4, because you saw that first 2 quarters of football from Golden West. They were able to do whatever they wanted on offense.
Absolutely.
Orange Coast made a lot of adjustments, specifically in taking away passing lanes inside of 5 to 6 yards. They weren't allowing Golden West in the second half to get those yards after catch.
Yeah, it was a huge adjustment. They were just undone by their offense today, not able to get anything accomplished. Putting up some yards here in the fourth quarter, and there's an interception. That's going to end this game. Big interception by Cody Savao. Cody Savao with the interception, and that will end this game. Golden West going to take the field one more time for a kneel down to run out those final 6 seconds, and we will call it a night for week 1 of Golden West Rustler football. Very strong first half for the Rustlers. Struggled a little bit in the second half, but they are going to walk out of here today 1-0. And they are going to win the battle for the bell. As Samuel takes a knee, and that is the game. Final score today, Golden West Rustlers 24 and Orange Coast College Pirates 7. So, very interesting game today. We saw Jake Rutzloff for Golden West come out very strong, have an excellent first half, really cement himself as a starting quarterback. He struggled a little bit in the second half before getting injured. We saw Brandon Cannella for Orange Coast get injured. Both starting quarterbacks go down, but that was a big first half for Golden West, which led them to the victory. They're going to walk out of here 1-0. Orange Coast falls to 0-1 on the 2021 season.
And when you look at both of these two teams, 2 years that they weren't able to get into competition, they finally get back onto the field. You got to know, as an athlete, to have that long off and then get back into competition, not only is it a great feeling to be able to, if you're a Golden West player, get that first one under your belt, but you also realize, you know what, this went away so quickly. And now to have it back is an accomplished type feeling for them.
Right, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Golden West this season as they ring the bell, winners of the battle for the bell. Golden West Rustlers. 5th straight time they have won the battle for the bell, 10th time in the last 11 seasons as they celebrate this big rivalry victory. Definitely the way that you want to start the season for Golden West.
Speaking of this season, don't forget, if you're watching on sportsnetusa.net this week and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I didn't get enough community college football. I need more community college football in the upcoming weeks. You can do so, as next week we got a lot of community college football. So check the schedule right here on sportsnetusa.net to be able to watch the leader in community college football right here on sportsnetusa.net.
Absolutely, including these Golden West Rustlers. All right, so from Dick Tucker Field in Costa Mesa, California, I am Matt Rogers alongside Ryan Osborn. saying thank you for joining us tonight, and we will see you next time on SportsNetUSA.net.